TV! Welcome one and all to a very glorious sunny evening in the Ullevi Stadium in Gothenburg. It's a little after, what is it now, just coming after 7 o'clock, so the door's been open for about an hour or so, fans are streaming into this sold-out show, which was sold out in, well, virtually seconds, as I seem to recall. And we're actually way up here on the top of the stand here, and Johnny's a bit nervous, aren't you, Johnny? Right there. He doesn't like the old heights, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And we haven't spotted any albatross yet either. We've been looking for them. I know Bruce has been looking for them the last couple of shows, so anyway, still no albatross. But I'm also up here with the inimitable Mr. Smallwood, and here to have a few words. I mean, here we are today, and another sold-out show. Last time we were here was 2005, July, and it's just another massive show. I mean, Gothenburg is kind of Maiden City on days like this, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Gothenburg has sort of become a sort of mecca for Maiden fans. I mean, they come from all over. Last time, 2005, it was the first big stadium we played in. Well, we played the stadium in Stockholm a couple of times. It's about 30,000. Of course, we did that as well this time. But yeah, it was a big event last time in 2005. And Swedish TV filmed it live, for live broadcast right across Scandinavia, or the Nordic territory. So you kids know, the Nordic territories are Scandinavia plus Finland. Finland is not officially Scandinavia. The Nordic territories are actually Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland. I think that's it. And this is a great place because, as you probably see, it's very high at the sides and very low at the back. So you don't get that many people at the back, which is really, with sight lines and everything else, not great seats. The bulk of the people, there's 26,000 people on the floor, and then 31,000 around the seats, which never looks it from down there. I went in today, how the hell are they going to get 30,000 people in the seats? But it's actually quite huge, that whole arc. And it's the home of Gothenburg's football team, and it was... it's actually an athletics stadium originally how it was built, so you can see the track all the way around, which means the floor is huge. There's a lot of stadiums like Twickenham's around the rugby pitch, Wembley's around the football pitch. This is an athletic track around a football pitch, so the floor is huge. I mean, there's 18,000 on the floor at Twickenham, or no, 16,000. There's 26 here. It's just a huge, massive area. And it's in the middle of town. There's some great pedestrian areas here, with lots of bars and tables outside. Today's the hottest day they've had all year in Gothenburg, and it's been glorious all week since we got up to Scandinavia, or Nordic territories. And the town's just full of people in Maiden shirts. The bars are full, shoe shops, bars are playing Maiden music. It's like Maidenville. It's just spectacular. And obviously great crowds up here. It's a real affinity with the band, with Sweden, all the Nordics. We'll be coming here. I think we played the Scandinavium here, which is about an 11,000 seat arena. I think we played it more than anyone else. I think it's like 13 times in our history before we eventually got to play in this place. So we've got a long history with Gothenburg.
Yeah, well, obviously, Bruce has been saying along the whole tour, during some of his little talks, he's saying this has been the biggest tour that the band have ever done and everything like this. And obviously in Scandinavia, this must be the biggest shows, in Trondheim and Oslo must be the biggest shows we've done there as well.
Oh yeah, right across. Yeah, I mean, last time we went to Norway, we played the Valhalla in Oslo, which is 12,000, and a whole 10,000 in Bergen. About 22,000. This time was 25,000, 23, 48, 50,000. Huge increase in Norway. In Finland last time was 2 Hartwells and the Tampere, which is about 30,000. This time it was 30 in Tampere, 43 in Helsinki. You're talking 70 odd. So 23 times the number of people. It's quite astonishing, really. God knows why.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you any idea why it's kind of why Maiden is so? I mean, that's obviously immensely popular everywhere, but why Scandinavia particularly? Have you got any idea why that could be? Over the years, maybe, or I mean, it's always had a massive support anyway. But
yeah, it's always been strong for us here. But to exponentially increase over a few years is pretty insane, really. I think they got great taste, obviously. But I know metal rock here, metal in these territories, has always been a mainstream music, unlike UK and America, the namby-pamby pop stuff and everything. I mean, I think I put in my diary, I don't think they let pop fans into Helsinki, into Finland. They're not very welcome up there. people like raw meats and a few beers and manly and real, and whatever. But so. Yeah, I think lots of word of mouth. The shows have always been real good recent years, and we've always put on a big show for everybody. And I guess they tell the friends and they come back. So God knows what we're going to do next time. But it's just great being up there. I just think this stadium is. I don't know a better one anywhere in the world to play in for fans. It's just accessible. It's through a really pretty town. With the canals and the pedestrian areas. As I said before, you get great views of the stage. It's just great being here.
Yeah. And how about the band? Do you think they get wound up for a show this big? I mean, obviously this is probably the biggest one of the biggest ones we're doing on the tour, right?
Yeah, of a stadium, Mexico was about 54, Twickenham's about 50, 55. Yeah, I mean, most stadiums are usually anything up for about 28 to about low 40s. So the 50s plus there aren't as many. Wacken's of course more. Wacken about 70,000. That's a festival. And a place like Prague will be 35, 40. It's so yeah. I guess this would be the biggest stadium show on the tour. Yeah, for sure.
And the band will probably up their game a little bit more, do you think? Or I think they give it 100% every night anyway, don't they? They seem to.
Well, better. There's a plane at the airport otherwise. Yeah, of course they do. Yeah, I mean always. I mean they're always driven. And the shows appear been. I thought Oslo and also Stinky were pretty incredible shows. This show you're going to do so much, everything else got to be right. Audience has got to be well up for it. The sound counts a lot. There's a bit of wind up here can make a difference. When I got this morning, the wind was going into the PA. And so I saw Jason said that either turn the stadium around or change the wind. And it's such a good crew, they managed to do that. So now the wind, if the wind's going in the PA, you're pushing it, you're getting, the quality's going away. Well, yeah. But this way, if it's you don't want a lot of wind, must you blow it straight over the audience. But a bit of wind's perfect. And, the conditions here should be, it's so hot. I think people will be wilting, but I've seen Thomas and two the promoters. They're going to give the kids a lot of water. They're going to give them a good hosing down after Avenged. Yeah, so they're nice and clammy when we go on, because it is bloody hot.
Yeah, it feels like Portugal here today. It's been the same all over in Oslo as well. It's pretty hot. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Well, thank you for